Good morning, traders. This is Christian Fromhertz, Tribeca Trade Group, with your Monday morning global market rundown. So, I'd like to start with international markets here, just to kind of see what's going on here. Asia markets, a lot of red this morning. Besides a couple bright areas this morning. Japan is was up 50 basis points last night, and Australia was basically about flat. But you had a lot of emerging markets that were down quite a bit. Specifically, the Hang Seng. India was also down, is also down decently, almost 1%. Taiwan also down decently, and I think some of that is on the Apple report that they told some of their chip suppliers to ratchet down production. So you could see that affecting some of the emerging markets. What's one of the most notable ones that I always look at in the morning is the Hang Seng. That's been one of the strongest ones all year long. Take a look here. We've actually come into the 50-day moving average. So it may be a buying opportunity here because we have seen this before. Since the beginning of the year, January. The Hang Seng has been very strong and has been mostly above that purple line, the 50-day moving average. And every time we've come in here, this is now what I guess I would say the third time that we've kind of come into the 50-day moving average. It's been a buying opportunity. The last two times, notice it took a couple days to kind of get out of it and resume the uptrend. So that is one that I'm definitely have an eye on. In terms of playing this in the U.S., that's EWH or FXI that can be played with those to play the Hang Seng. You'll see that once the market opens, these should be down this morning, EWH and FXI. So those should be into the 50-day moving average. We'll see. And then the other one, so that's the negative, which I always start with. But the positive is Japan. So I've talked about this a little bit last week. If I go over to the Nikkei, you can see this is breaking out. So right around that recent high. If you go to, so how can you play this in the U.S.? It's the DXJ ETF. This is Japan with the currency hedged, so basically in local terms. So this is breaking out. So there's some real strength in Japanese securities. I think Abe just announced that there's going to be a snap election, which might be a catalyst for a move. But from a purely technical aspect, as long as you're above, I would say 5270, call it $53. I would be long Japan here. So that's what's cooking in international markets, specifically Asia. Europe this morning is mixed across, back and forth. You get the Euro stocks basically flat. You get the DAX up 20 basis points, Spain down a little bit. So let's go over to U.S. futures and see where we're at. I always like to do this video Monday morning because we have a brand new value area for the week. That's on the 1 hour bar. So let me first look at the daily chart. You could see that it's been a lot of digestion since hitting a 52-week high in the beginning of last week. We had a lot of days where just a lot of chop for the overall S&P. I've talked about this numerous times that sectors are moving all over the place, which is also why there's chop for the overall S&P, because everything is not moving together. You've got some sectors up, some sectors down on a daily basis. So that's what's going on here. I would think that we're going to have more of that this week, unless there's some new money. It just doesn't seem like there's new money being put to work. It seems like money is just rotating around. So I would imagine that's going to continue on. So going over to the one, so really nothing major technical. We're above the September value area, and there's no real
At the
support
bottom of the hour,
here.
Chicago
So we
Fed
get,
for
I would
August,
say, to
estimate of
this blue
minus
line, which
2.5.
is my 20-day moving average, 20-day exponential moving average. So not much to really see on the daily chart. That's why I like to go to smaller time frames. So how are we starting this week? Notice what we did first of all last week. We started the week above value. We kind of sat there all week long. Again, a lot of chop. We really didn't move at all from the beginning of the week to the end. We actually finished, right in line with that. This week it looks like we're
30
starting
seconds.
the week. S&P futures are starting below value. Your level to watch looks like it's 24.99 and a half. I would just call it 2500. That's that green line. That's going to be your resistance. If we can get into the value area, it's going to be 2505. That's what I would watch for a breakout this week in S&P futures. But it is what it is. We're starting the week below value, so we need to first get into value. And I would be a little bit worried about starting. If we when we start the week below value, I would be a little bit worried about some
A
weakness.
minus point three
However,
one.
we're
Chicago Fed
only
A minus
basically
point
two
three
points
one. Estimate a
below
minus
that
point
value
two
area, so
five.
it won't take much to kind of get us
And
into the
comments
value
out of
area for the
Dudley.
week. Just the 5 minute time frame,
Says the Fed to keep gradually removing
we're
policy
sitting right in
accommodation.
value. So, if you're looking for levels for today,
Fundamentals supporting
24.96 is your
expansion are
support.
quite favorable.
Moving over to Qs, I'll actually use
Notes
the
the hurricane
Qs rather
effect on
than
the economy
Nasdaq
likely to be
futures.
short-lived.
This was the weakest of the major U.S. indices last
And
week.
those are
The
remarks in a
Qs
text of his
were down,
speech
were
in
negative last
Syracuse.
week, and saw a little bit of selling pressure a couple days. So we're right at the top of value for the month. That level, basically right around 144.30. So we're kind of right into that. And right now we're inside value, but that's your resistance. If you're bullish Nasdaq, you want to see a move. You want to see us get back above the value area for the month. Looking at the 1 hour bar, it's kind of similar to the S&P. Again, we're starting the week below value, so I wouldn't be surprised if there is a little bit of weakness. What would change my mind? One, if we get it back into value for the week, which we haven't gotten there yet, but 144.41, that's your level to watch in Nasdaq. On the 5 minute bar, you could see a couple red bars here forming. 144.11, we need to get there for the day, and even further for a breakout for the day. 144.38, 144.38, not a breakout for the day, but a move higher for the day. And then watch last week's lows, which we hit a couple times last week, which held up. But that level for support is right around basically 154. So I would be a little bit worried that we're starting the week below value. IWM, which was the outperformer, small caps were the outperformer last week. So again, sorry to be out with the negatives this morning, but the one thing that I don't like is that we're overbought for the small caps going into the week. So the RSI is really good for the major indices. Normally, unless something really crazy is going on, we don't stay overbought or oversold for that long. So the last time that we were overbought, was here all the way back to the all the way back to the election, which again is something particularly different. We came off overbought levels and we were overbought again, and that was basically it. We haven't been overbought since. So the fact that we're overbought here, I think if you're playing a lot of single stocks, which I am. It might make sense to maybe sell some out of the money call spreads here in the small caps. Again, they don't usually stay overbought for long. So that's a 70, almost a 72 RSI. That's definitely an overbought territory. So that's what I see there. Again, before I move away from the daily chart, we also got above this hump and made a 52-week high on Friday. So it's great that we did that, but I would be a little bit concerned that we're going to come in this week. This is the only one, and be that as it may, maybe before selling upside call spreads, selling some premium in IWM, maybe what you want to wait for is a move into value for the week. So that's something that I will be doing before I put that trade on. I would wait until we're in value for the week, so below 144.04. And if IWMs want to continue to go, that's fine. So I won't do that trade if they show hints of strength this morning. Then that trade I won't do right now until maybe we get below 144.04, the top of value for the week. So that's again different picture for small caps. We're starting the week above value, but again these things can change very quickly because as I said with S&P, we're only like a handle or two below value for the week, and we're just basically about 20 cents above value. So really close support and resistance. You could see a red bar forming there as well for IWM. So I was going to say that we're in in value for the
In the
day.
industrial space, the
I
new
would watch
Honeywell CEO
144.23 and 144.52
says he's taking a hard look at sprawling
two levels on the
conglomerate,
5 minute
saying, I don't want
bar.
to get
That's the
attached to
day's
any
value area.
business.
All right,
That's a
so
tweet out of
that's
the Wall
it
Street
for
Journal. So the new
the
Honeywell CEO says, taking
morning
a hard
rundown in
look
terms
at
of
the
the
sprawling conglomerate,
indices.
and
You
says,
can
I don't
join
want to
us.
get
We start
attached
our
to any
pre-market
of its
single
businesses.
stock review in the Tribeca Trade Room. We start that off in 20 minutes, so at 8:55. But here's the index review. Thanks for watching the video, and have a great day.